Tomato juice is the official beverage of Ohio. Did you know that? Ohio ranks #1 in the country's production of Swiss cheese.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. The world record for the fastest time to dig a grave is held by Jose Luis Riviera. He dug a grave in 2 hours on October 20th, 2018 in Cleveland, Ohio. According to Jose, he was digging water mains and sewers for 29 years, and when the challenge presented itself, he couldn't resist.
What do you mean dig a grave, though? Just dig a hole for a grave?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
6 feet in 2 hours.
I thought you meant like body snatching. And then I was like, 2018? What?
No, just digging her grave. Jacqueline, the oldest woman to give birth to her grandchild or grandchildren, broke this record because she volunteered to be her daughter's surrogate mother. She did this at age 56 and carried and delivered her grandchildren, who were born triplets on October 11th, 2008, at Hillcrest Hospital in Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow.
So clearly, this episode, we are talking about Ohio.
Yep.
Just wanting to give a couple of interesting facts that I never knew.
Me either.
But this episode is Ohio's Hidden Treasures or Lost Treasures. Hey, I'm Sam.
I'm Lisa.
Welcome to X-UMED. So this episode, I've been researching for, I don't know, we're recording it right now and it's September. I've been researching it since February.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has
But-
it been that long?
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of information that I've been trying to find, which I will kind of explain later, but it's not there.
Huh. Okay. What
Living in
do you
Oklahoma.
know?
Yeah, living in Oklahoma, I was trying to find information that ties back to Ohio, but it's all folklore, so
Folklore's fun, too.
yeah. So I failed at that, but I tried. And actually, we're going to be talking about that in a couple of minutes. So have you ever heard of the Shawnee Silver Treasure in Chillicothe, Ohio?
No, that's like a big mouthful of words, too.
But you know where Chillicothe is.
Chillicothe, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the treasure is named by the Shawnee Silver Treasure or the Chillicothe Silver Treasure. But one interesting part about it is don't get it confused because Chillicothe is not, we're not talking about where it is now. We're talking about in the 1700s on what Chillicothe actually meant.
What did it mean?
Well, Chillicothe was actually the capital of the Shawnee Indians, and it was wherever their leader actually was at that time. So if the chief passed away, Chillicothe was wherever the chief was, where the new chief was.
Weird.
Yeah, so I never knew that, but it actually, knowing that now and understanding this next treasure actually kind of makes a little bit of sense and why it has yet to be found.
I understand why it has yet to be found. If Chillicothe moved around.
Yeah.
Chillicothe wasn't a place. It was just the place that the chief was at the time.
Yeah.
So it could have been anywhere.
Yeah, it's amazing the things that you find out and understand later on, even though you grew up in Ohio your entire life. The small things that
Chillicothe's
you
in
take.
one place now. How'd it stop moving around?
The American settlers came in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those things happened.
All right. Enough said.
Yeah, well, so the area that we're talking about now is where we believe that the treasure could possibly be buried. We're nicknaming it Old Chillicothe.
Okay.
And actually, right now, it's Old Town, Ohio. The actual name of it is Old Town, Ohio.
Okay.
Well, in the 1700s, there were roughly about 1,100 Shawnee Indians who constructed villages in the area of Old Chillicothe, or Old Town, Ohio. Their leader was Blackfish, and he constantly fought against the early pioneers, the American settlers. He was trying to protect his area.
Okay.
You remember who Daniel Boone is?
Ooh, shit. I should remember who it is. I know the name.
Yeah, we kind of all know the name. Kind of like Johnny Appleseed, but yet we can't exactly remember a whole lot of what he did.
Yeah.
Daniel Boone was, an American settler, early pioneers, going through and navigating the area. He was even captured by Chief Blackfish. He was made a prisoner, but then later on by the tribe, he was trusted by the tribe, and he was adapted by the Shawnee Indians. But Daniel Boone earned their respect. He was like, okay, we're going to
So he was, like,
nominate you.
welcomed into the tribe. That's kinda cool.
Yeah. All right, well, the Shawnee Indians would capture women and children to increase their numbers to fight against the American settlers, which, I mean, makes sense. You're trying to protect your land and whatnot.
Mhm.
But when the men would come through and try to retrieve their women and children, they were eventually captured, imprisoned, and forced into hard labor. Yeah,
I mean,
I've got
sucks, but they were
feelings.
kinda Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that.
They were dicks at that time.
Everyone's dicks on both sides.
Yeah. Well, the men who were prisoners were blindfolded, and they were forced to travel 3 to 4 miles per day. According to some of the prisoners, the Shawnee tribe made them wear a pack of heavy loads to carry them a distance of Massey's Creek. Okay, so they're traveling anywhere from like 3.5 to 4 miles
Mhm.
with sacks on their back, blindfolded, and they really don't know where they're going.
What creek did you say?
Massey's.
I've never heard of that.
No, neither did I. Then they would make the men sit there for half a day. Then they were given supplies to travel back to Old Chillicothe, which is said the Shawnee were mining silver out of the silver mines and then making the forced labor
Carry it.
travel back to camp.
Okay.
Which is said to be silver the Shawnee collected from the cave. There are other accounts where prisoners stated they actually just traveled in circles. There are some accounts where they actually stated that, like, one of the prisoners took off their blindfold and they knew what they were carrying.
So they traveled blindfolded in circles so that they wouldn't know where the treasure actually was. They would think that it was somewhere else, but they didn't know that they were just going in circles.
Yeah.
Smart.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Well, the Shawnee eventually ended up in Wapakoneta, Ohio, but then traveled back to Old Chillicothe, which is believed they traveled back to retrieve their treasures. Like, they were forced out of their home. Eventually, they were forced to relocate to Kansas and Oklahoma. Rumor has it that they made a map that's now in Oklahoma of where the old silver treasure is. So this is why my research on this was taking so damn long. I actually ended up going to a quote-unquote museum of the Shawnee Indians in Oklahoma. There's nothing. I went to a library and took out a bunch of different books. There's nothing. Like, no one that I've talked to in Oklahoma has ever even heard of that.
Of what? The map?
Of the story in general.
Okay. Well, they made a map, though. They made a map of where the treasure was. So where is the map, and did they lie on the map? How has it never been found? They made a map. Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. Like, I'm currently in an area where there are, there's a lot of different tribes, but Shawnee is a very large tribe within the area. Oh God, there's museums, there's all sorts of different things that you can visit because it's tribal council. I'm not going to get into things that I don't fully understand because I've only lived here for a couple of years. But yeah, like, I'm trying to find the map. I'm not going to find the map, but I'm trying to talk to people that have ever heard of this. No one's ever heard of it.
Weird. How did you come across the story?
I've kind of always known about it.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
I've always been interested in this sort of thing, and Ohio has so much lost treasures. It's actually kind of amazing. Apparently today the treasure could be worth $1 million from the silver coins and other value items. It's said to be in a cave off of the Little Miami River. I mean, but who knows though?
In Loveland? The Little Miami River is in Loveland, Ohio. I don't know how far it spans, though. I don't know if you said Little Miami River.
Yeah.
And I thought Loveland because I covered the Loveland frog.
Yeah. No, it's supposed to be, they call it the Chillicothe treasure, but we still don't know where their Chillicothe was at the time. But they believe
because it moved around.
Yes. But they believe that it could be in Old Town, Ohio. I don't know. It's never been found. At least, apparently, it has never been found. If you find treasure, you're not going to make a big deal about it.
No, you're going to keep it a secret.
Exactly. But it's supposed to be in a cave off of the Little Miami River.
Interesting. The Loveland Frog has it.
Probably. So this is actually my favorite of the stories that I found. It's called the Stark Treasure. And it's so damn funny because in theory, it could be found.
What do you mean? It could have already been found?
No, it could still be found.
Okay.
Apparently, this treasure was buried in 1755 during the French and Indian War prior to the American Revolutionary War. What's hilarious about this particular treasure is locals in Minerva, Ohio, have actually found all the clues.
Why haven't they gone after the treasure then?
We'll get to that, but let's talk about the actual story of it.
Okay. I want to know what the clues are.
The clues were left behind by the French army, yet they still can't find it, and it's been 250 years. During the French and Indian War, French soldiers were defending Fort de Quesnay. It's French. I'm sorry, people.
Q
D
like in French.
Duquesne.
Okay, you don't pronounce it qua, you pronounce it ka. Just act like it's a K.
Fort de Quesnay.
Maybe.
I don't know. Sorry.
It's probably closer. You tried.
Well, during the French and Indian War, French soldiers were defending Fort D from British
Fort D,
troops.
there you go.
In what is now known as modern-day Pittsburgh. Remember, like we're talking about Ohio, but I mean, the borders they weren't there. But things weren't going well at that particular time. British troops were inching closer to the fort, which happened to contain the payroll of all the French soldiers. Okay, so they're hanging on to it's the gold for their troops.
Mm-hmm.
The French knew the British were coming and that they were outmatched. They also knew that the gold, if captured, would not only crush the spirits of unpaid French soldiers, but it would significantly help the British Army.
Significantly.
Sorry.
Significantly. Get your shit together.
I can't.
So it would crush their spirits because they wouldn't have their pay.
Yeah, and then when the British would find it, it would definitely help them out.
Yeah.
Well, when they realized that, 10 men packed the gold up into 16 horses, and then they headed west to Fort Detroit, pretty much to hide it.
Okay.
Although they had to stop suddenly as the British were getting closer to bury the treasure quickly so the money wouldn't be stolen. And they believe it's just east of Minerva, Ohio. The French soldiers unpacked all the gold and buried it, leaving clues only they could understand. The gold was hidden, but the British did attack and killed or captured all but 2 of the men. Those 2 remaining men never spoke of the gold for fear of being captured. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
But apparently that never happened. According to the transcribed letters written by one of the surviving soldiers, the last line of the letter says events following made it impossible for us to return, meaning they couldn't go back to get the gold. It's all he said, she said.
Yeah.
Well, decades later, a stranger came to town, claimed to be the nephew of one of the French soldiers. So I don't know how many decades, but we're talking about 1775, so it could be 1800, it could be like 1815, I don't know. He had a letter from the soldier that spoke of specific clues surrounding the gold. The soldier wrote that they buried the gold in the middle of 4 springs that formed sort of a square. A half a mile to the west, they jammed an odd rock into the fork of a tree. And so
jammed an odd rock into the fork of a tree. So like a tree trunk is coming up and it forks off into 2 and it's like right there in the middle.
Yes.
Okay. That was a clue?
That's one clue. Well, that's the second clue. The first clue is the soldier wrote that they buried the gold in the middle of 4 springs that formed a square. So like water springs.
Uh-huh.
Then there is a tree nearby where they jammed an odd rock into the fork of the tree.
Okay.
A mile to the east, they carved a deer into a tree. 600 steps to the north, they buried the shovels.
Have people found the shovels?
They eventually found all the clues.
So people found the shovels.
One man was chopping down a tree when a strange rock fell from one of the forks above his head. Another man found what was left of the shovels in the ground. A storm blew off the bark of a tree in an area and exposed a carving of the deer.
Cool.
Yeah, it's never been found. But the last clue, though, is the springs forming a square.
I thought you said that was the first clue.
Yes.
But they just found that clue the last?
They've found all of the other clues. But the difficult clue with this, they believe that's the most important clue, but it's vanished over time because the water springs have dried up.
Oh, okay. Damn.
The springs could reappear. I mean, it's water. Gold may have shifted its location.
You would think so if it was in water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll shift. Huh.
God, people are constantly still looking for this because how frustrating is it to know that we have everything, yet we can't find anything?
I go through that every single morning, looking for my shoes, looking for my purse. I understand the frustration.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what the actual treasure would be worth today. I'm not sure that if it was $25,000 in 1755 or if it's worth $25,000 now. It's hard for me to figure out.
Because of the way it's worded, or?
Because of the way it's worded and how many $25,000 then is a hell of a lot of money. How many soldiers was the gold supposed to go to?
Yeah. So how much would it have been once it was all divvied up?
Yes. So is it $25,000 then or $25,000 now? I don't know.
Or was it $25,000 each?
I don't think each.
Okay. You did the research. I didn't. I'm just asking
No,
questions.
there isn't much to know about this. I mean, it's all
That's
lost to
frustrating,
time.
though. Like so if they figured out, though, how much that money is worth today, you would think that they'd be out there with bulldozers like, we're finding this bitch.
It's also private property.
Oh, okay, there you go.
They allow some people to go through and poke around and do what they need to without moving around too much of the area.
That's what's frustrating, because I'm not trying to interrupt your story, but do you watch The Curse of Oak Island?
No, not yet.
It's up in Nova Scotia, Canada. They're digging for the treasure that the Knights Templar was supposed to have left there on the island. And they're thinking that that's where the Ark of the Covenant is. I don't believe it's there. There could be a treasure, but not the Ark. But they will get so far and start finding things like, I got to keep digging here. And then the government will come in and say, you can't dig here anymore.
I believe that. There's a couple of different treasures across the United States that's what happens.
That's frustrating. Like, we were just getting to something, and now you tell me that I can't do it anymore.
I mean, that's also typical government behavior. Let someone else do it, and let's watch, and then let's take it.
Yeah, don't let them find too much. Just let them do enough work so that we can go in, when they've done enough work, and find it for ourselves.
Let them foot the bill.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready to go back to Cincinnati? And this is not a witching thing. Witches have nothing to do with this. Or grave robbing.
Speaking of grave robbing, this is my stiff drink. Crown apple with apple cider and whipped cream on top. It tastes like you're drinking a candy apple. It's so good.
I make something similar.
Anyways, continue.
In Eden Park in Cincinnati, there are supposed to be lots of treasures. And it actually may be true. Well, going back to the story around, this guy named Nicholas D.L. It's another French name. I'm not going to even try it. He had a nickname of Nasty Nick and Fat Nicholas, as he changed his name quite a bit for his identity to be hidden, naturally.
Okay.
He was born around 1820, and he was a pirate who robbed riverboats.
Cool.
And so, of course, you're going to change your identity, robbing riverboats. And that's really all I know about him. I found way too much conflicting information, and I wasn't about to give information that I can't fact check. I can't back up.
Well, yeah, you can't make up information.
Yeah, no. I'm not about to give incorrect information. But he wrote poems as to where he buried his treasures. Nicholas wrote a poem about traveling to the Garden of Eden and planting a precious seed. It describes sailing the Euphrates and the
Euphrates.
And Hiddekel River.
I don't know that one, but the Euphrates is the Euphrates.
Yeah, that's right. It also mentioned...
You talk funny.
I know I talk funny. I can't pronounce words. Hooked on Phonics did not work for me.
Okay.
Well, it also mentioned, seemingly in passing, a confluence of prison and the Gihon. Pison and the Gihon. Oh my God. Okay, so apparently it's in the book of Genesis, and they are rivers. I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. The poem also mentions a city on 7 hills.
That sounds a lot. I mean, it sounds a lot like they're trying to. Okay, because rivers that come together in one spot, that's where Eden was supposed to be. All these rivers. Yeah, I saw a map about it. Like Eden, like the Garden of Eden was supposed to be right in the middle, and there's all these rivers coming from different places, and they all end up like intertwining around the garden.
Okay, so you realize what you're talking about. This is in Eden Park, Cincinnati. So he's using biblical references.
Yes.
Okay.
I understood that.
Well, apparently all of this is actually an error because the city of 7 Hills can only be in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Why?
And the precious seed he planted in the Garden of Eden refers to Eden Park. His treasures are certainly buried there. No other location makes sense based upon his writings. So people there are a lot of people that are trying to figure it out. And they think it's one other place, and everyone has tried to go through, and it's like, no, it is Eden Park. I completely forgot that I also started reading in the middle of a paragraph, and none of that actually made sense. They believed that it was somewhere in 7 Hills, Ohio, which I really don't even think that's an area. I think it's a nickname.
So why haven't they gone there and started digging?
Well,
are they not allowed?
This was supposed to be around like 1840, 1850. It could be a little bit later, depending on his age, since I could not figure out how old he was, where he was exactly from. I know he was born in 1820, so I'm trying to do the math. But let's go to 2022. They do believe that it actually has been found, or it has not been found, but there is progress on it. There is a man in Cincinnati who has been researching lost treasure as a hobby and believes he knows where the treasure is. He went through the park for hours with a metal detector, then suddenly it went off. It went off in such weird ways that he's never heard his metal detector do. He dug small holes, he stuck a camera into it, and apparently saw what looked like a crown, different relics of blue, reds, and greens. You don't find that. You do not find those colors underground, and those aren't natural colors.
It sounds like gemstones.
Yeah, it does. He contacted the city parks, showed them the photos, and asked for that area to be dug up. As of now, nothing has happened with it. He's constantly...
Like, when are you going to dig it up? When are you going to dig it up?
Yeah. He is keeping that area private to himself, and it's a very large park. Like, really? All he really did was poke holes to stick a camera down into it. You're not gonna know in the very large park that it is where he stuck a pole down into.
Why can't he just go and dig it himself?
Oh, God. There are so many different laws that prevent that.
Okay. That's what I figured.
You're in a state park.
Damn laws.
Yeah,
always
right?
keeping us from doing fun shit.
Well, if the legend is true, it could be worth up to $100 million today, which also confuses me. Why don't we know how much is actually buried? Like, we don't know what's buried. How do we know that it's $100 million?
Yeah. Yeah. A treasure being that old, and if it's made of gold and gemstones and stuff, you would think that, I mean, old shit like that is worth so much more than if it were to be like manufactured today, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, since they don't know what's down there exactly, how the hell do they know how much it's worth? Unless somewhere along the way, somebody knows something that they're not admitting to. But they kind of gave themselves away by saying, oh yeah, it's worth this much, when he shouldn't know.
No, I don't know how any of that works. None of it makes sense to me. Like, how the hell do you know? But we do know that blues, greens, and reds are not found naturally beneath the earth.
No, I mean, gemstones, yeah.
Gemstones in caves, not in the middle of a Cincinnati park.
So it had to have been put there.
Yes, and he hid all those things there because at that point, like, there really wasn't banks. A lot of pirates actually hid their treasures in saloons.
Did they?
Yeah, they would come back. They would go to a saloon that would pay for all of their drinks, that would pay for their stay. They would hide it there and know where it actually is and trust the barkeeps or the bar owners or whatever it was at that time. So, have you been to a bar in, I want to say, like Port Clinton or Sandusky or Kelly's Island?
Yeah.
But have you seen like dollar bills up on the walls?
Yeah, I just figured, people frame their first dollar
No, no, no.
that they made.
Yeah, no, I get that. But having like entire walls covered with like single dollar bills or hanging from the ceiling.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
I've been to a couple like that, and it's actually like a kind of a salute and an honor to the pirates that used to hide their money with the bar owners.
Cool. That's cool.
Yep.
Pirates were assholes. They were thieves. They stole stuff from people, but they're interesting at the same time. And honestly, the only thing I know about pirates is from Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's all bullshit. I gotta look into pirates. They're interesting to me now. They've never really been interesting to me before.
Well, a little interesting fact that there are around Ohio and Michigan. It more so had to do with the War of 1812. The American Navy weren't exactly set up at that time. There wasn't much of a Navy. So the American government would go through and allow legal pirates. Like, okay, we need you. You've got a ship.
Yeah.
We need you to go through like the British or the French. I think it was mostly the British. You set sail. You're in Lake Erie. You know where these things are at. We are legally allowing you to do this and report back to us. I can't remember what it's actually called, but
that's sketchy.
That's sketchy, but that's where actually most of the pirates that have to do with Ohio, that's how they were formed. Like, you think of pirates and you think of the ocean. There were a shit ton of pirates in Ohio, especially Lake Erie.
Cool.
The Ohio River. Talk about all these river boats. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like it.
So you want to go more towards home?
Okay. I think I know what you're going to talk about. Maybe I'm wrong.
You know where Shunk, Ohio is?
No. Shunk, Ohio?
Not really anyone knows of Shunk, Ohio. Even though it's like 20 minutes away from where we grew up.
Really?
Maybe 40.
Is it like Ida where you can like spit across it?
Yeah, no, actually kind of is. Shunk, Ohio, which is actually not even really on a map. All that shows up is Harrison Township. It is roughly south of Highway 6 on State Route 109. So you know where Liberty Center is. So jump over the Maumee River, go about like 6-7 miles south on it. It curves a little bit, and you're in Shunk, Ohio.
Okay.
In order from where you are at, in order to get to it, you really just have to go through Waterville, Grand Rapids, and
okay, yeah.
Well, in the 1785 to 1795, during the Northwest Indian War, is where this treasure is supposed to be buried in Shunk, Ohio. During that time, I used to deliver in this area. It's essentially like a couple of houses and a bridge. You cross over it, and that's it. It's gone, and I believe you actually end up in like Melinta, Ohio. It's called the Turkey Foot Creek.
This is what I thought you were going to talk about.
Okay, so you're familiar with the Turkey Foot Creek now.
You told me about it, but I don't remember too much about it.
Well, it's actually considered a ghost town. There's a legend of a lost Native American gold buried in this area on the inside bend of Turkey Foot Creek near State Route 109. A ghost on horseback apparently guards it.
I thought you said that an Indian guarded it. The ghost of a Native American. I got to quit saying Indian. It's Native American.
It's Native American. But when we say Indian, it's not. It's just we're trying to break the times
we grew up in. It's just what we're used to saying.
We're trying to break the habit.
Yeah, but be more respectful because we weren't back then. We didn't.
We're trying.
Any different, yeah. But I thought you told me that it was the ghost of a Native American that guarded the treasure.
It could be. But this is also folklore. We don't fully know because I now have we have two different stories that are kind of turning into one right now. The exact origin of Shunk is shrouded in mystery. However, it has been said that an Indian village was located near the site, and thus the legend of an Indian ghost of Shunk, Native American ghost of Shunk. In the late 1830s, the Native Americans of Northwest Ohio were asked to leave their ancestral home in the Maumee Valley and move to reservations in Kansas and Oklahoma. So we're kind of still talking about like Wapakoneta and Shawnee Indians, Native Americans, as that's what most of northwestern Ohio was. Because of the treacherous of the trip, many valuable items were left behind with white settlers who had befriended the Native Americans. Okay, so they were asked to leave. I'm pretty sure they were not asked to leave, but they had to leave.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. As legend has it, Native Americans near Shunk decided to bury their treasures and maybe someday they could return. It has been said that the buried treasure of Shunk in fact contains gold sheets used to make coins that were paying General Anthony Wayne's soldiers, and they were stolen from Fort Defiance. So the Native Americans essentially mugged the American soldiers, took their gold that was supposed to pay the soldiers of Fort Defiance, which actually it was a fort, but nothing ever happened there. And somewhere it is still buried. I have read stories where people claim that they know where it is, but anytime they go and dig it up, they're chased away by a ghost on a horse.
Cool.
At the same time, where they believe it is buried is also on private property. So, like, don't go digging up shit. And if you absolutely think that you have to, call 811, because you don't know what you're going to dig up. Pipelines. You could cause an explosion. Natural gas. You can cause an explosion.
Yeah, that's not where my mind went. My mind went to they know that it's Native American treasure and they're going to dig for it and they're going to find a burial ground.
There is that. And there's also the owners. There's a whole lot of reasons why you should never go digging in that area on Turkey Foot Creek. You could get shot. You could dig in the wrong place and get blown up. Or you could be chased by...
I'm just laughing at the way you said that.
I mean, you could be chased off by a headless horseman. And we all know that you don't dig up Native American grounds. That's bad juju. Something's going to happen to you. And for the fact that it's a headless horseman of a Native American, don't fuck around with it.
Yeah.
But if someone does happen to find the treasure, it could be worth up to $5 million today.
Wow. You're talking about a headless horseman, Native American headless horseman. Do you know that headless horsemen are usually an omen of death?
Yeah, I did know that.
I didn't know that until I started looking it up for something. So yeah, a Native American omen of death. Don't go there.
It's just bad
Leave it
juju.
alone.
Yeah. Don't do it. If it has been found, no one's going to say a damn thing. It's going to be pawned off. It's supposed to be gold bars. Yeah, they're going out of state. They're going to Vegas. They're going somewhere and transporting that and slowly cashing out on it and not telling a single person.
Very slowly. That's going to draw
Very
attention.
slowly.
Even one gold bar is going to draw attention. Like, where did you get that?
Unless it's some shady person that you find.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of The Secret?
The book?
Yes.
The Secret?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't remember where this takes place, though.
It takes place in a lot of places.
Is it like around the world or just around the country?
United States and Canada.
Okay. I have heard about it. I can't remember much about it. I saw a TV show where they were talking about it.
Are we
it's
talking
cool.
about the same thing?
I think so. Yeah.
A treasure hunt?
Yes. It's cool. I want to do it. But, I'd have to quit my job. And
we're not that smart.
We don't have the... That too.
Well, so moving on from that, back in 1982, a man named Byron Priest decided it would be a good idea to publish a treasure hunt. He spent about a year or so traveling around the country, burying small treasures in ceramic boxes. And this is what gets me. It's only 2 feet below the surface.
Wow.
He wrote a few poems, had a few of his friends paint some images. The goal was to get the reader to match a poem with a painting and produce a treasure map of the sorts. Then go and find it and dig up the treasure. It's called, as we just talked about, he wrote a book about it. It's called The Secret. It gives hints on where all 12 of the boxes are buried.
And the hints are very hard, and you got to be really smart to figure it out.
They really aren't. But it all depends.
I think it's really just a matter of how your brain works.
Yes, but you're matching a poem with a painting. But the idea was that, okay, so he buried these boxes in secret locations across the United States and Canada that symbolically represents events and peoples that portrayed significant roles in the North American history. So you need to be a history buff, and you also need to enjoy paintings and poems. So you have to have that mindset. No.
Yeah. None of the above. Dark history, yeah. But
yeah, let's do it. Why can't we have a treasure hunt like that?
We could. We could make one. We could call it the Dark Secret.
That would work.
And probably then already trademarked.
And then we're sending our listeners into illegal activities and grave robbing. Let's just not touch that.
Like, oh shit, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was illegal to do that.
Well, anyone who uncovered one of the treasures boxes was entitled to exchange it for a gem. How much the gem is worth, I don't know. He thought it would be easy, yet 40 years later, only 3 of the 12 have been found. He passed away in 2005. His estate assumed the responsibility of honoring the terms of the treasure hunt. So you find the treasure, you can turn it in for a gem, and there isn't any information really on what the treasure is. But it's not what the treasure is. It's the fact that you're going on a treasure hunt trying to solve all these different things.
It's an adventure. It's fun.
It's an adventure. He kept no record of the treasure boxes, the exact locations before his death, leaving it almost impossible for the remaining boxes to be recovered. No one knows where they're at, except for him, and he passed away 20 years ago. As of 2024, only 3 of the 12 boxes have been found. And the first one was found in Chicago in 1983. It was in Grant Park, and it was worth about $1,200. The second one was found in Cleveland in Greek Cultural Garden. No actual value. No value that I've been able to find. But I honestly didn't put that much of an effort into it. Boston, 2019, Langone Park was the third one. But the unsolved ones are known to could be in San Francisco, Charleston, South Carolina, Elizabethan Garden in Roanoke Island, North Carolina, St. Augustine, Florida, Herman Park, Houston, Texas, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Montreal, Quebec, Canada, French Quarter, Lafayette, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Ooh, I want to look for treasure there.
Queens, Coney Island, New York, New York. But no, we do not go to the French Quarter and start digging up shit.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I heard New Orleans and my heart got happy.
What's actually kind of cool about this is like the Boston treasure boxes recovered was filmed on the Discovery Channel's Expedition Unknown. It was aired October 30th, 2019.
I think that's what I was watching.
I guarantee.
I think that's what it was, yeah. I can picture the guy. Not to interrupt you, but for people that are watching, are you paying attention to what her cat is doing? He is being such a little sweetheart, such a little cutie pie, and you keep pushing him away, and it kills me a little bit each time you do it.
Because he has this attitude all the time.
Look at how sweet and cute he is. He just wants to love you, and you're pushing him away.
No, what he does is anytime that I eat, anytime I do anything, he headsbutt me.
He headbutts
Like I am literally taking a bite of food, and I've got a fork shoved up into the top of my throat because he headbutts me. Yes, Lynx, you're a good cat, but you drive me nuts sometimes.
Oh, that's Lynx. He's the one that bites you. I thought it was Shadow.
No, Lynx, he doesn't bite, he nibbles.
Okay, anyway, continue.
All right, so we've got a couple of different treasures before we start getting into the treasures that were actually found. In Hamilton County, Ohio, which Cincinnati, Ohio, a Prohibition-era bootlegger George Remus made around $70 million a year in illegal alcohol trade for a while and pretty much hit it. The vault may be found. We don't know, but it's kind of out there. Pirates were known to operate along the Ohio River during the early 1800s, using the waterway as a raid to plunder passing boats. It is believed that one group of river pirates buried a stash of stolen treasure near Cheshire, Ohio. The hidden treasure is thought to include gold coins, silver bars, and other valuables. As we talked about it before, Ohio had a hell of a lot of pirates. Some stories suggest that the booty could also include jewelry of other luxurious goods. And once again, who the hell actually knows where it's at, if it exists, but
so what you're telling me is
it could be
there's
4
a
million.
whole shitload of treasure buried all over the place in Ohio, and nobody's found it. Nobody's found it when they're digging up the land for roadways and stuff.
And I've only told you about like a 16th of the major things because a lot of the others weren't enough fully to talk about.
Huh.
Ohio is a very historical state. A lot of shit happened here. I mean, hell, there was buried treasures in like the middle of the 1800s, 1900s, because people never trusted banks. It was new to them.
Yeah, they would even more recently, like early 1900s, people were putting their cash in coffee cans and burying them.
And we're about to get into some of that.
Okay.
And of course, I have to talk about this one because it's a shipwreck, and I am obsessed with shipwrecks. You realize how many shipwrecks are actually in Lake Erie?
I know there's a lot.
There is
in
a
Lake
lot.
Superior, too.
Especially Lake Superior. In 2015, underwater explorers found a shipwreck near Kelly's Island in Lake Erie. And if people don't know about Kelly's Island, it's kind of near Cedar Point-ish. And everyone knows where Cedar Point is, or what Cedar Point is.
Isn't it kind of like in between Put-in Bay and Cedar Point? I always thought Kelly's Island was part of Put-in Bay.
I've never been there. Yeah.
Me either.
Well, they believe it's the Lake Serpent. So the shipwreck they found was the Lake Serpent, which went down in 1829, which could be the oldest shipwreck in Lake Erie. Okay,
Cool.
so that's really cool.
Is it still there?
Yeah, I guarantee it's probably still there. The one unique feature of the ship is its carved figurehead shaped like a serpent. That's how they were able to identify it. And finding this was such a historical discovery. It's not exactly worth what one would think it's worth. The ship was carrying a lot of limestone, personal items, nothing significant. But the items helped historians understand the way that people lived at that time, what they were carrying, how they traveled. But they're thinking that it's worth roughly $50,000.
Mm.
Not a huge thing, but it's a very historical thing. We got Lakewood, Ohio, which is near Cleveland. In 2006, a contractor was renovating a bathroom in a house that was built in 1910, around in the 1910s. Inside of the wall, he found 2 green metal boxes with envelopes inside addressed to P. Dune News Agency. I'm assuming it's... I don't even want to assume what that is. Maybe an insurance company.
Okay.
The envelope contained $182,000 in old currency from the 1930s. The bills were in near perfect condition, making them even more valuable to the collectors.
Wow.
He thought it would be his, but there was a large legal battle that drug out for decades. Between him and the homeowner, they believed that they would claim ownership of it. Which, okay, he was the one renovating it. He found it, so should it be his or the homeowner's?
Anything in the home belongs to the homeowner.
But the plot thickens. The heirs of the original homeowner came forward and put their stake into the findings because they believed it belonged to their family.
Okay.
The courts divided the money between all 3 parts, which is fair.
Yeah.
The treasure was valued at $1.7 million. And between all 3 of them, they got about $570,000.
Hey, I'll take that.
Yeah, fair. Toledo, Ohio.
There's a treasure in Toledo, Ohio.
Yes, there's one in Toledo,
That's never
Ohio.
been found?
No, we're talking about the things that have been found.
Okay.
In 2024, a man purchased a home on the east side of Toledo for $1,000.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
East Toledo. There's a lot of like mansions in East Toledo, but the neighborhoods are so run down that the property value is cheap. So yeah, I get it.
You don't cross the river in that part of Toledo. You don't cross the river.
Okay. My husband's from East Toledo, so
okay. Well, you don't cross the river.
Just It's neither here nor there for me.
Well, when he bought the home, he ended up finding 5 envelopes in the basement hidden between bricks. It was $100,000 in old $100 bills. And
Wow.
this is a good guy. He ended up contacting the son of the last homeowner, and he shared the findings with him.
Wow. Why?
He was a good person. Don't question it. He was a good
No,
person.
I mean, yeah, because not a lot of people would do that. Be like, I found it. It's mine. I'm not telling anybody about it.
Oh, God, yeah. It was about $36,000. So not like a huge amount, but
yeah,
it's still something found.
And it was in the bricks of, like, in the basement, you said?
Yeah, it was hidden between bricks in the basement. I mean, that was probably someone's life savings.
Yeah. The only thing that I've ever heard of being found in the bricks of a basement around where we grew up was the houses behind Dad's old house. You know what they found in there?
I can't remember.
Dynamite.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a thing. Well, one of the last one that I'm going to touch on is a meteorite. Is one of the actual largest finds in Ohio. In 1860, a meteorite struck around New Concord, Ohio, which is like the east side of Columbus.
Okay.
It is the largest piece weighed at 500 pounds, which is America's largest meteorite that's ever been found. And its value is over $1 million.
Where is it? Where is it now?
It's
is it like in a museum?
I'm sure parts of it probably is.
Why is it worth so much? Does it have like precious metals and stuff in it?
Yeah, that's what meteorites are. It's all sorts of like exotic metals. I mean, you think about something falling from the sky hell, you watched Avatar. They're mining a planet for their
resources,
valuables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a meteorite was made out of.
Precious metals.
It's just a rock. That's what I thought it was, just a big rock. I don't know. Now I know.
Yeah, like there are so many things that have been found in Ohio. I only covered the most interesting ones. I want to say in like Northeast Ohio, someone was like knocking down a house and kids are sitting kind of watching it happen in a field, and suddenly it's like raining money down on them. Someone put their life savings into the woodwork, into the framing of the house, and they're knocking it down. And I want to say it was anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000. It's been a while since I read that. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, but like the thing is, like everything that has actually been found that has noted to be found isn't of significant value. And it's usually people like hiding away their life savings because couldn't trust banks.
They didn't trust banks. Mm-hmm.
So tin cans out in the yard, but nothing of significant value in a historical aspect has actually been found. I don't want to say it has been found. There is no record of it being found.
Mm-hmm. I think bits and pieces of it have been found, but just very little bits and pieces. Like on Curse of Oak Island, they'll find a little brooch, or they'll find a little Spanish coin or something. But that's all they find, like the whole season.
Like
big treasure, but they're only finding this little bit of it.
Yeah. I want to say it was, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking that it's around Cincinnati. There was a train car that derailed, went into a river, went into a lake, and they're finding bits and pieces of what was in the train cars. There was also a lot of not vending machines. I don't know, the coin slot things at casinos, the slot machines.
Yeah.
Were dumped into a lake in Ohio, or it could have been a river, one of the two. A lot of people
I think it's in a lake.
Yeah.
I think it's in a lake, but I think it's in a Michigan lake, because I think what you're talking about is the same thing that I don't remember the name of the TV show, but this guy is trying to find that boxcar in the lake, and it's supposed to have all kinds of money in it. He had the guys from Oak Island on an episode of his show, kind of giving him advice and trying to help him find it. It's like a show crossover.
Okay. It's very interesting on all the things that you can come up with and find if you're actually looking, but when you actually look, like, you can't find shit. But I guess out of anything from this episode, Like, there's so much out in the world that no one has actually ever been able to find. I mean, hell, it's believed that in the Rocky Mountains alone, there's more gold hidden in the Rocky Mountains than there is in the Federal Reserve. It's just very hard to find, but don't go digging in places you don't belong. Do not trespass, and call 811 before you blow yourselves up. I'm not condoning
Good advice.
treasure hunters or amateur treasure hunters to go digging on someone's property. Dig your own property.
All they're going to find in our yard is dead animals, our dead pets.
Fossils. But I think that is all I know for now on Ohio treasures.
Okay, that turned out to be a fun one, I think.
With your stiff drink.
I think that helped. All right, that's all we know for now then, I guess.
That's it.
All right, have a good night then.
Have a good night.